BLK community hypocrisy. They'll say the person on the left is more aesthetically attractive than the person on the right.
Back to our dollhouse. I'm Miss. I'm a wife, a mother, a proud member, part of the IR community faction known as BWWM. All other factions are welcome. However, for this dollhouse, it's specifically for us.
Welcome back to our dollhouse. So today in our house meeting, we are going to be discussing BLK community hypocrisy. Now, we're going to break it down into three and maybe throw in some honorable mentions, but this is basically will be a guide onto navigating when we have to interact with members of part of the BLK community. So let's start with number one, skin tone hierarchy. So our key word here, when we hear they bring up any sort of skin tone hierarchy, our keyword, dolls, is softness. Say it with me, softness. Okay, so why is it that they bring up skin tone hierarchy? And notice they'll use a monochrome exotical, a mixed race or biracial woman who have a certain phenotype, but she doesn't have that certain je ne sais quoi personality to pull a WP. So she had no other choice but to be a monochrome woman. So they'll use her to continue on the skin tone hierarchy. And because she's such an obedient bad bitch, excuse my language, but because she's an obedient bad bee, she have no problem to take on that rough. Say it with me, dolls. That rough. No pun intended, but she's barking like a dog and she's down for that rough life. Meanwhile, you have to stand firm in your softness because their skin tone hierarchy tactics cannot work on you. See, they know your potential. They know that you are a swirler pretty princess and they'll try to get you while you're young. So you might crush on a Caucasian guy when you're really young and they'll say something like, well, he probably only go for light skinned girls, or no, he probably just go for white girls because he's white. They'll say things like that because they're trying to take you out of your softness. They're trying to make it seem as though you don't have that je ne sais quoi. You don't have that. They'll even say things like, well, you're not all that light skinned, when on contrary, you're probably lighter and have more softer features and phenotype than the majority of them in the BLK community. But they say these words to take you out of your what? Softness. Okay, dolls, remember that. They use the skin tone hierarchy to take you out of your softness. Also, a lot of these monochrome women, monochrome exoticals, they'll say things like, well, this is light skin and you not light skin and stuff like that. Well, my dear, does it really matter that you're light when you're playing in the dark? No pun intended, my dear. No pun intended. But let's be totally honest here. Let's use this as a talking point since the members are part of the BLK community love to use this as a talking point. So let's talk about this imaginary cup that they love to use as a talking point. They use it on our beautiful biracial children, even when our biracial children come out with sandy blonde hair and baby blue eyes. And there are like 3D biracials and white adjacent biracial children, they still use this talking point. They blackety black when the police pulled them over. They'll say things like that, dolls, right? You know the talking point that they love to give. So let's keep that same energy, shall we? Okay. Well, there's no law, my dear, none whatsoever that says that we cannot walk around with our marriage certificate that have our serial number on there, the serial number on there, and also that shows our spouse racial makeup and gender on our marriage certificate. Okay, keep up with me. Now, that being said, if you are light, do you think that your quote unquote light skin privilege is really a match when our Caucasian husbands step in the room or don't even need to be in the room, but we have that marriage certificate there. Because if you want to play skin hierarchy, let's see how far that hierarchy that you think your skin is going to get you over one of us that is actually legally married to a WP. And they know that. They know that it's a different ball game. That's why, if you notice, they're trying to slim down because they're trying to copy us. If you also notice, they try to destiny swap with us. They try to talk like us. They try to dress like us. You ever notice a monochrome woman and she code switch when a Caucasian man is in the room? And you're just still talking the same way that you normally talk? Or she does something, like she try to act more poised, she try to do certain things. Like you notice them. Sometimes when I see this, I giggle and laugh to myself, like I seriously do, because they're trying to now appeal softer because you naturally have it. You're the swirler pretty princess. Never forget that, dolls. Never forget that. And because of that, and because of that, they're going to constantly get you out of your softness. They're going to constantly try to break you down out of your softness because they want to continue this skin hierarchy that comes with the texturism, colorism, featureism, all that and more. And it is up to you to still be the swirler pretty princess that we know that we are. They'll even try to use words like, oh, she's so bougie, she's so extra, and stuff like that. When in actuality, what is wrong with just saying that she's so feminine, she's so soft, she's so pretty, she's such a doll, she's such a princess? No, that is too much for them to give you that compliment because they're trying to take you out of your what? Softness. Say it with me, dolls. They're trying to take you out of your softness. And because of that, they're going to use this skin tone hierarchy. Okay, moving on.
So we already know that there is some historical condensation of how Black people were being compared to apes and things of that nature, right? Correct? So I don't need to go into a long Lashid for you, uh, historical lessons and blah, 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 my dear. So let's just say this. Why is it that the BLK community didn't demand a particular artist who have the name Glorilla, which is considered to be an ape, right? That name, right? The name have historical connotation, and why would uh, a person who is a Black identified person want to call herself that? Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Where is the BLK community outrage? No outrage? None? Not even a little bit? Is it because she's light skinned where they're okay with her calling herself Glorilla? Huh? What? Still no outrage? What? Oh, okay. Then I'm sure there's no outrage for other female rappers' names. Oh, wait, there is? Light skinned Keisha? Why is there an outrage? Oh, you want her to change it. Why? Why should light skinned Keisha change her name? I mean, I just saw her child do indeed appears to be light skinned, but once again, we go back to number one of what the hypocrisy of the BLK community be doing. They take you out of the what? The skin hierarchy because they want you to strip you away from your what? Softness. Okay. Remember, dolls. Um, so number two, we're at number two, fake outrage, the fake protection. So they want light skinned Keisha to change her name because they say that she's not light skinned, she's brown skinned. Okay, wow. Is she the only one? No. There's another one? Okay, what's her name? Mulatto. Mulatto. Okay, mulatto. Like one of our beautiful biracial children over here in the IR community. And she had to change her name to now Lotto. But why? Who was it hurting? If one of us over here who is actually making first generation biracials, if one of us over here who actually have a biracial grandmother such as myself, if one of us over here who always knew she was going to be a celebrity princess darling is not writing to Miss Mulatto, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. They demanded this woman to change her name to Lotto now. If we were not making an outcry, why was the BLK community making an outcry so much to make her change her name? But did they have an outcry for Cardi B disrespecting Bia for having a white father? Crickets. Our dollhouse was the only one that addressed that. Now, dolls, do you understand the fake outrage? The protection that they tried to give you. And that fake outrage is even when they saying that our beautiful biracial children is going to be blackity black when the police pull them over. Meanwhile, if we were to ever get in an altercation with them and we use our WP as leverage, as privilege, then they would say that we're using privilege. It's because she got a white man, because she married to a white man. And so your whole talking point is going right back to number one, skin tone hierarchy, because you're trying to what? Strip us from our softness. So number two, fake outrage, because there's no real protection. You don't protect us when you're trying to strip us from our softness. Let's move on to number 3, dolls. Last but never least, the BLK community hypocrisy is when they bring up privilege. See, when we talk about our WPs, they want to change the goalposts and say things like, well, are they making 6 or 8 figures? My dear, let's run that back. Let's use that same talking point that you guys regurgitate all the time to our beautiful biracial children that is 3D biracial with sandy blonde hair and baby blue eyes, my dear. You say that they're still going to be blackety black when the police pull them over, correct? So you're letting us know that a Caucasian man just have to be a cop doing 6 months of boot camp, police academy or something like that. So in your own words, a Caucasian man just working in law enforcement is still power, is still privilege over you. So what is this talking point now? And my dear, we swirl pretty over here. We're not desperate divestors. We don't care to be with Caucasian men who make 6 or 8 figures. We like genetic stocks. Yes, you heard me, genetic stocks. Like Cindy Sweeney. I believe that's that actress name. But yeah, we like that. Oh, and here we go with this with the skin tone hierarchy. Now they want to say, "Oh, how dare you want those sandy blonde hair and that baby blue eyes and all that genetic stocks that you're getting from here, WP," because they want you to have the mentality of we tell you the hierarchy that we're creating in the BLK community, and you don't go out there and create it in their community. See this weird Jedi mind trick? Like, I swear, I don't know what goes in. I feel like at this time, if reparation was to ever be give, it'd have to be mandatory of therapy for each person who receive it, because there is some a psychiatrist need to see if everyone is like mentally okay, to figure out what is really going on. This is beyond just historical. This is just something like I don't know. It just is it hereditary, because it's just a little weird. How can you say you have to have self-love, and when someone's saying, well, hey, um I want to make kids like my grandmother who is, biracial. How is that not having self-love? You're having self-love for someone who you look up to, who, if it wasn't for her, you wouldn't be here, dummy. So this is the narrative of what they constantly do, and it's because they want to strip you from your privilege. You have privilege, swirly pretty privilege. So they want to take you from your swirly pretty privilege They want to strip you away from it so you do not have access to swirl pretty and to swirl back to your true original form. And they don't want that. And whenever they say, like, oh, well, that's not exhibiting self love, my dear, you constantly have a hierarchy in your community. And you keep it perpetuating. You don't have self love. And you don't want me to have self love if I was to say, well, I love my skin tone. I feel like my skin tone is the best. How dare you say that? How dare you say that? And you not all that light skin, so how you dare you say I swear, if reparations is going to be given out, I'm going to need everyone to it needs to be mandatory that everyone have to seek therapy seriously on a weekly basis to figure out what is going on. What is going on with you? What is going on with you, my dear? Because it is this weird obsession to try to strip someone from their softness by creating this skin tone hierarchy, this fake outrage of protection that is never really there, oh my dear. And privilege, stripping you from your privilege because they know that you have privilege. You are legally married into privilege with a WP, and he doesn't have to make 6 or 8 figures because us swirler pretty princesses, we genuinely like Caucasian men who have genetic stocks. Um, Not all of us like white guys who have dark hair and dark eyes, okay? Or curly hair, okay? So understand a lot of us who are swirler pretty princesses, we swirl with WPs who have genetic stocks, and that's just that, my dear. Um, so they try to strip you away from the privilege that you have because they don't want you to have that privilege to say what access of even a Caucasian man you want to give access to. That's too much. And even us just saying that we even have a certain preference of a Caucasian guy with a certain phenotype, them just hearing that, they get so offended, like, oh my gosh, because they want to be able to have access to you. So they're going to try to strip you away from any access that you may have, which is the privilege that you have. You have the privilege as a woman, a Black identified woman, to choose who you want, and it scares a lot of the members, a part of the BLK community. Now, some honorable mentions. I might have mentioned it already. They try to talk like us. A lot of monochrome women, they try to talk like us, dress like us, do fashion like us. They're now trying to slim down. You'll hear Myrtle talk about being a big beluga and slimming down. So you'll hear a lot of these monochrome women, exotic or not, they'll use these talking points because by the end of the day, they're impressed by us. They're impressed by us swirler pretty princesses. They'll never admit it out loud, but we know that they are. They talk about the soft life because they really do want to live that soft life. I mean, I'm extremely blessed. My daughter had the luxury to do private homeschooling. Um, Horseback riding lessons, pageants. She's even talking to me now, telling me that she wants to do ballet. We're considering putting her in ballet, but those are just some of the things that she had the luxury of doing. And for anyone to be like, oh, that's just it. Let's be let's be totally honest, my dear. Most of you have children in public school, and most of you who do not have children, you have no other choice but to put them in public school. So please don't even go there, my dear. But dolls, you know, I those of us who always swirled pretty, we've always talked to our WPs about putting our children um, in the best school. And we've also always talked to our WPs about homeschooling our children as well, doing private homeschooling, meaning everything is coming out of our pockets with private teachers as well of what me and my husband do. So That being said, that is the hypocrisy of the BLK community and what they do. And I hope this is completely helpful for you dolls when navigating. So this is it for our house meeting. Until next time, much for tuning in to our dollhouse. Mwah. Till next time. Feel free to drop your comments down below in our dollhouse mailbox. If you have another house meeting topic that you would like us to go over, or you enjoy this house meeting topic and you want to add to it by just leaving a comment, feel free to do just that by dropping your comments down below in our dollhouse mailbox. Before we close this house meeting, may we all please stand to recite our daily affirmation. We are worthy sisterhood of Mu Sigma Zeta. We stand proudly in the IR community. We receive abundance daily. We are irresistibly desirable always. We love outwards and receive love inwards. We do not decenter from men. However, strategize to get ring on finger from them. We receive all universe blessings. Our swirler pretty privilege. Open all possible doors. So it be. Say I. Sling, 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 sling. And remember, they're pretty too, but we're swirler pretty. Like and subscribe. Later, Slayers.